Here we are.
Yeah.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. So we're really speaking from Florence, myself, and we're really happy to have Candice Lau from London. Am I right?
Yes. Well, living in
Yes.
London, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Good. And we're very thrilled to have a chat with Candice because she was in Scuola del Cuoio some years ago, and she become now a very settled craftsman and leather maker in UK. So, Candice, how you doing?
Yeah, doing really, really well. Yeah, really
Yeah,
thrilled to be invited to chat here. So that's great.
yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And so, let us know a little bit about your background and what brought you to get near to the world of leather making.
So I have a creative background. So I started off in graphic design, and then just in a general realization of how bad I was in that particular craft, I really got myself into making, and then so the more I did it, the more kind of courses and things that I got into, I realized I really love working with leather, the material, and I saw
Yeah.
there were a lot of possibilities with it. So I, with a combination of small courses I did in Hong Kong and in the UK, and I eventually went to the London College of Fashion to do a short
Okay.
course there. I decided I really wanted to kind of really expand my knowledge on it. And
Yeah.
so I managed to get a scholarship to go to the Scuola del Cuoio
Right.
back in 2018. So I was there for 3 months doing the course, and it's just, in terms of the craft, it's just gone up because the things that you learn and the people you meet, you end up kind of learning so much more than just going to a school. All the people I met at the course in Florence. I mean, I'm still good friends with them, and we all learn from each other still. So
Yeah.
that's
That's
kind of my
great.
trip. Yeah.
And what brought you to Florence? I mean, was more the school or the city that you're attracted by?
For me, it's definitely the school, but originally it was the city. So I was actually there for a wedding 3 weeks
Okay.
before, and I walked past the school, and actually my husband walked past the school, took a photo, and went, "I think you'll really like this place." And then I think by chance I had already Googled and found out about it. And so then I kind of had this goal in my head that I, eventually want to go to this school. And and then I managed to get a scholarship through the Queen Elizabeth Scholarship Trust here in the UK.
Right.
And they funded my trip over there. And I got to study over there. And yeah.
Yeah, great. And I mean, what we really like about Florence. I'm not even from Florence myself, but is that you really breathe like craftsmanship, like in every little street.
Yes, exactly. And it's the loveliness of it. It's not like you walk down the street and all you see is Zara and whatever it is. But every corner there is something that is very,
Yeah.
very artisanal and very small and very lovely. And I think, yeah, it is all over the streets. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good thing, because it's and I'm seeing has in the past years as well, probably many former students of our school, of other design school and stuff like that, they decided then to settle in Florence and open up their business. So there is a very famous Japanese jeweler as well, which
Mhm.
has a shop just next to the Duomo Square, and
Yeah.
but many others, like countless amount of young people, and I think that's nice because it means that it's a fertile place where you can grow your skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
definitely refreshing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And how's the situation? How's UK for? Because UK as well is a great place for being a craftsman. You know.
Yes, I think there's definitely a lot of support in London. We have the Crafts Council, we've got the Arts Council, we've got Cockpit Arts, which is where my studio is at the moment, which is
Yeah.
a brilliant studio just for makers and designers and artists as well. And we are in central London. It's a social enterprise, so it's well funded, and it's
Yeah.
we get lots and lots of support, and
Yeah.
also for being here in London at Cockpit Arts also allows us to get a lot of mentorship in terms of business development. You know, one thing is to be the craftsman, but the other thing is to kind of sell your craft and be able to be sustainable. So this is what I've, you know, over the last 5 years being in this studio, you know, managed to have, which is wonderful.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, we've been speaking about it in the past times. That's why in the school as well we are adding some more modules and some more mentoring about entrepreneurship as well, because it's really true that when there is a school, a place that train future artisans, you know, they're living a world which is totally different from before. And there's good and bad things, of course, but the good thing is that you can basically be located everywhere in the world. I mean, where you can purchase, of course, good materials, but then you can sell everywhere again. And and I think that's a great opportunity as well for young craftsmen who maybe they think, or, you know, I might not be able, or I might be able, and everything. But I think nowadays with you know, with talent and with the right skills as well, not only in making, but as well in marketing and branding and everything that is related with that, and a good mentoring as well. I think it's much easier than the past to start up your business. So tell us a little bit more about your business, your studio. What's how they developed, what were the difficulties as well, and what make you happy every day?
Well, I mean, I consider myself very lucky to be able to come to my studio, work for myself every day. I think this is one of the joys of having my business. I started roughly about 7 or 8 years ago, and realizing that this is kind of the path I want to go in. And I wouldn't say it was a smooth ride where I thought one day I'm going to work with leather and make bags. It was kind of gradual, and it was kind of the dying out of my previous career in graphic design. And then so this kind of just came at the right time and kind of took over at the right time. And I think if I was to be speaking to any person starting up as a craftsperson and want to make a business out of it, I don't think it's really a definitive thing that you decide. I think you have to kind of go with the flow a little bit and see where it takes you.
It's proud in a way.
Yeah. And so I started to started this this journey, and I managed to get my first studio, very, very small one. And then I just kind of grew bigger and bigger and bigger, got equipment, got a bigger table, and, you know, I've got a wall full of tools, and you know, as the projects came in, I could afford to grow like this. And you know, I think it was important for me not to, because I work for myself, it was important for me not to just go, okay, I'm going to get a whole bunch of funding and I'm just going to pour it all into making a studio. I let it grow really organically. And so over time, I kind of got a mixture of, I did my own products, I made my own goods, and then I also work a lot with design and development for other brands as well. So I work from quite small brands and startups to working with big brands, developing products for them. And so it was quite a range of different things.
Yeah, nice. And
go on.
Yeah, what's your relationship with design? Because that's something, again, we're working on a lot here in Schola. It's really to make designers and craftsmen try to speak the same language, sit at the same table.
Yeah, because I came from a design background, so I'm really interested in the design aspect of it. Whenever I talk to people about it, I tell them actually I'm really fascinated with pattern making. Because I find it very technical and so interesting to figure out, even by the millimeter. I mean, this is what I learned at Scuola del Cuoio. Like every millimeter makes a difference. You know, you have Mao, who used to, the teacher at Scuola del Cuoio, that will look at your stitching and go, oh, you should have done 1 millimeter, half a millimeter smaller. Like, so, you know, when you get comments like that, this becomes very important. So I think design is very, very important. You know, in the very beginning, I would like actually draw straight into the leather and then cut it up, which I probably would not advise to do that anymore, for sure. And so I think design, having a well-planned idea is very important in the whole process. And also design is problem solving. So in fact, your designing bag is solving a problem for the wearer, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally agree with that, and I think that it's key aspect of nowadays the fact that designers and craftsmen can speak the right language, because sometimes the designer can go far ahead than the person who has to make it. It is not able, so it's important for the designer as well to acquire and to get to know the technique of different skill in craftsmanship. Solving problem, I think, is the key thing is the key element of being both a good craftsman and a good designer. And the first time I heard about you was when I was reading a beautiful book about leather technique and everything. So let us know about your experience as a book writer.
Yes, so I was approached by Octopus Books, which was a publisher, and basically they wanted to. There was a leatherworking book that was written 20 years ago by these British leatherworkers, and they just want to create something a bit more now, because some of the projects were a bit dated. So then I kind of flashed the book.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so it's
beautiful.
Of basically 20 different projects, from very simple things like key rings to like making backpacks and it's all focused on hand stitching, because it was supposed to be made very accessible for people to be able to do it themselves, without having to purchase massive equipment. So the experience was quite incredible, because I think I was really put under pressure to write the book within 4 months. And so I had to...
4 months? Wow.
Yes, because it was... I basically handed in the draft days before I gave birth. So there was that imminent time, and also the time from the publishers that they want to get it all done, and so to put in the book there, which ended up didn't happen because of COVID. But I worked with an amazing team who art directed the photography. My husband was a photographer who's a really good photographer, and he did a lot of the working shots with me. And writing was frantic. It was a bit frantic, but I think the more frantic I am, the better the things come up. And on top of writing, you actually have to make the bags themselves. So it was a bit of a crazy 4 months of my life. Yeah.
So you give 2 birds very nearby.
Exactly. Gave birth to two children. Yeah. So.
And what's your point? Which is another is something else we're very keen about. What's your point about multidisciplinarity? So how do you see yourself as a leather craftsman within a studio, maybe where there are other artists, and how do you interact with them? Is there an interaction? Is it helpful?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of interaction, and I actually much prefer the fact that I'm in a studio full of different people. So in my current studio, we have someone who does 3D printed jewelry, we have a graphic designer, and there's me, there's a jeweler, and there's a weaver. So, it's very, very different things. And I think you do get a lot of influences in terms of design. But in terms of collaborations, it's you come up with collaborations that you wouldn't have thought of if you weren't surrounded by these people.
Yeah. With a surprise.
Yes, and I think it's just an amazing surprise, You might not think that one thing fits with another, but then it actually does, and it just is fantastic. And I really promote people in different disciplines to work together, to be honest. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Same space. Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. We're here in the new venue that we're just setting up, and the idea really is to no borders, no walls, and no classrooms in a way, and just interact, just smell each other, watch each other, hear each other as well. I think the sound is very important, and the things will sprout naturally. I think when you're curious and you see what's happening around you. So Candice, thank you so much for being with us and take some time. Have a lovely summer, and as I told you before, we expect you to come along in Florence as soon as possible to give a workshop or to interact with the studio. And so what's your website in case people want to have a look at the website?
Yep, it's a studiocandicelau.com. So it's, I think they will, do they see my name on this? So it's studio.
No, yeah, there is a banner on the top, but is
okay,
is
so
written on the, isn't it on?
Okay, studio and then Candice, Candice, Lau, Lau.
Yeah, we're gonna write it down on our Facebook page and everything. And so thank you very much, Candice, and yeah, good. We'll chat soon, and have a good time.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Here we are. We're back in Florence, and it was nice to speak with Candice Lau, which our former students, and we have Sara here, Magni, the coordinator for the courses. Hi, Sara.
Hey, everybody.
And here we have Michael from all the way from California. How you doing, Michael? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty early.
No, it's no problem. No problem.
All right.
He wakes up early. That's what he said. But thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I'd love to help.
Thank you. So you just finished the course, right? And you just went back to California. You finished on Friday.
Sorry?
You just finished the course, the shoemaking course, right?
I did.
And
Yeah,
just
I just
got back
finished
to
the course.
California.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell us a little bit, first of all, why did you decide to make the shoemaking course? Why did you decide to be a shoemaker?
Okay.
And yes, tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay. Just one moment. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry to make you wait just a moment, but I was on my front patio and there's too much noise with the cars, so I'm going to my back patio. I hope you understand.
Yeah. Now we are watching some amazing images of shoemakers' work.
Douglas, can you open this for me? Dougie? The back door.
Okay, so while we wait for, here we go.
Okay.
Okay. I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, go.
So yes, first of all, tell me a little bit about your story. So why did you decide to be a shoemaker? How did you decide to take this path?
Sorry. So
Can you hear me?
What I think I'm hearing is, why did I choose Stefano and
Yeah.
and what?
I mean, why did you choose to be a shoemaker?
Okay.
to be an artisan.
Okay, sure. So, please let me know if at any point there's a disconnection or anything. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this guy. We've got the guy going. It's 6 a.m. This guy's doing the trash. I'm so sorry. Okay, so for me personally, you ready?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I got into shoemaking a few years ago. I worked at a job in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, in America. It was a shoemaking company, and at that place, I was doing it's what's called closing. At Stefano Bammer, it would be called closing. That's what Joseph does at Stefano. You know, Sarah, you know Joseph.
Stefano, yes, of course.
Yeah, you know Joseph. So closing is sewing the uppers before they become put together by hand. So that was my job there. I did that for many years, and I was inspired, and I started making shoes on my own and finding apprenticeships on my own. I went to different places throughout the country. I went to Arizona. I went to California, different places. And finally, you know what happened was I realized that throughout the times, you know, I traveled to places to find experiences, you know, and it was short-term stuff. But what I realized was full immersion, spending time living what you're doing is what I needed. And so with Stefano, I was able to completely dedicate my time, which is the most important thing if you're trying to become a shoemaker, is dedicating your time. And
yeah, it's a fully immersive experience.
Complete immersion is the most important thing. And for me personally, I have now become, this is in my experience, it has been the most rewarding experience of my life, because I was completely immersed Monday through Friday. Every single day I woke up and went to bed shoemaking. You understand?
Yeah, it was your life.
It was my life.
That was your life.
And it paid off incredibly. I would say now I can go into my shop, because I have a shoemaking shop in my, in my garage, I can go down there with a knife and an awl and a piece of thread, and I can make shoes as well as a shoemaker can.
You're
know what I mean?
professional now. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. I feel
you,
because of the experience that I've had, I feel confident in it.
Of course, you still have to learn, because you never learn enough, right?
Right. Of course.
So you will continue the whole life to learn and learn making things. And can you tell us a little bit the structure of the course? Can you tell it for me, to people that are watching? Like, when you start with the apprentice level, can you speak about the structure of the course? Like, the course is a 17-week, a 20-week course, if you also add the open lab week, the 3 open lab week. But can you speak about the 2 modules of the course? The apprentice level, what do you study during the apprentice level? What do you start learning about the tools, the basic?
Oh my God! Yeah, of course.
And then the artisanal level.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's really, really incredible. I'm telling you, it's really incredible. So what you do, it's so incredible. So you go into the course, and so we know Mizako, of course. Mizako is the head shoe. She's the maestro of the shoe program. She's absolutely incredible. So what happens is you go into the course, and what she does is she starts you at every step possible is done in the Maestro course, or in the course. So what happens is you start with a last, with a shoemaking last. A last is what the shoe is built upon. So you're given a last, right? And then she starts you with the initial process, which is building around the toe. You start with the toe, and you start to understand how to pull the leather around the toe. And then you start to understand how to sew that. You stitch that, and then slowly she starts to add steps. So what happens is you start with sewing your toe, and you get a piece of leather, and you do all of everything. And then as you move on, every week it's every week you progress. So she starts at your toe, and and then you move on to the whole foot. And then after the foot, we all, as a team, we go to the last maker. The last maker, what that is, the last is what the shoe is built around. So it's the most important thing. That's why they say, in shoemaking terms, the last comes first, is because you have to build your shoe around the form, right? So we all, as a team, we go to the company that builds us our form. So we all measure. That's a big part of the company and a part of the school. It's a really big part of the school, is we all measure our feet together. Mazako does it for us, and we do it. Another cool thing is Mazako measures our feet, and then we all measure our feet. So we measure the feet also. So it's a good experience. It's a wonderful experience. And then with the dimensions that we find, we go to the last maker in Italy, which, by the way, I've done a lot of experience, a lot of research, and this is the best last maker in the world. Not joking. I've done many times. I've researched this. They are the best. And so you give them the dimensions, and 1 week later, they spit out a last for you, and then you get that. And then Mazako teaches you the most important thing, which is called last modification, which is incredibly important. So what that means is, what we do is we build a shoe on this last, right? And then we take the shoe off the last, and then we measure our feet on it. So we put our feet into it, and then cut it open and see where our foot sits on it, right? And then we can adjust the last, which is the most important thing. So if you're having clients, the most important thing for a client in bespoke work is to give them an absolute perfect fit, right? There's nothing more important than this. And so this is taught in the program in a very detailed way. So we find the last, and we've put it on, and we've built a shoe around it. And then we take the shoe off, and then we measure the foot, and then go back to the last. Okay? Then we go back to the last.
Very slow. This is definitely slow fashion. Like, it's a very slow process, right?
It's so slow. Yeah, it's very slow. So we go back to the last, and we adjust it. We sand where needed, or we add where needed. And then once we've added or adjusted, then we found your perfect fit. Then we can build the shoe. So now that we have the perfect fit, we will start building. And then the process of building is, okay, I say everything's the most important thing. I get excited about it, because to be honest, every step is the most important step, of course. But what comes after this is pattern making. So pattern making is insanely important, and it's a very confusing thing. As a shoemaker, as someone that wants to become a shoemaker, this is the step that really holds people back. because it's very difficult to understand the dimensions of the shoe and how you create the pattern on the shoe. And this
Okay,
was...
we have a short time now, only 1 minute left. I wanted you to speak a little bit also about your your collection, because during the artisanal level, during the second level of the course, it's the most creative part, let's say, of the course, right? So it's when you start to design also your own collection.
Mm-hmm.
So can you speak a little bit, like briefly, about how did you design your collection and how you developed it?
Right. Yeah, no, this is the most beautiful thing. So when I came into this program, like I said, I had some experience before. So I understood how to do the making and all this stuff. But what I didn't know was how to draft and how to design. So what happens when you're designing is there's dimensions of the shoe, okay? And you have to understand these dimensions. One of them is called the pass line, which is how you get, for example, a cowboy boot. I don't know if you can see it, but you have to understand how to get the shoe into, how to get the foot into the shoe, you know? There's many steps. So what we learned at Stefano with Mazzocco is how to, what you do is you take the form, okay? And then you project onto the form the points, the very specific points they're very important. There's the width of your foot, and from that point you can make a bunch of measurements, and then from those points that you put onto the last, you can start to draw. Okay, this is a very difficult thing here, because you start to draw, and this is where your drawing comes in handy. But what matters is those dimensions. So those dimensions were put onto the last, so they're visible. And so as you draw, you meet those points. You know? You meet those points and you make your shoe design based off of those points. And those points will be given to you in such detail. You will understand the concept of the dimensions of the last. We go really into it.
Architectural. It's like an architect. It's
it's like drafting. It's like blueprinting. It's architecture. It's incredible.
Sorry, Michael, I would love to speak to you much longer, but I have to leave you. Thanks again for being with us today. Thanks a lot, and to see you soon back in Florence, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm coming back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Sarah.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
So we're pitching a banner, and we're going to speak about. Sorry, we're switching banner, and we're going to speak now about hat making, and a friend Matteo from SUPERDUPER is going to join us. But before, we're going to see a little video, and here we go. In the meanwhile, while the video is going to finish, we're going to start to introduce Matteo Gioli, which is a founder and designer from SUPERDUPER. We can't see you yet, Matteo, but I can't even hear you. But hello, Matteo. How are you doing? Can you hear us okay?
Alessandro.
Ciao, Matteo. How are you? Can you hear us? No, you can't hear us.
You hear me?
Yes. Go on.
Can
you hear me now?
I don't hear you anymore. Let me check again. Since the beginning of the video, I don't hear anything. Let me.
Can you hear me? Range. Matteo.
You hear me?
Yes. You.
Hello, everyone. I do have some troubles. Wait.
You cannot hear me now? Let's send the video in the meanwhile. Go. Okay.
Ora mi senti?
Io ti sento, tu mi senti, Matteo?
Ora sì, perfetto.
Ok, ottimo, perfetto. Ciao Matteo, come stai?
Bene, grazie mille.
Bene. So we draft to English, and sorry for the technical problem. So Matteo, you just I don't know if it's still on, but you just had a great launch of a new collection in Pitti. How did it go?
It's been, I mean, it went well, and it's mostly very important, you know, on a kind of more emotional level too. You know, it's the first collection that we've been able to present live since, I mean, the last 2 years. So it's been very, very good to see people again, to see press again, to see buyers again, and I mean, in terms of feeling, you know, it's been very, very strong. Plus, together with the launch collection, as we were holding many ideas since long time, we also been opening a special pop-up stores inside the building of Manifattura Tabacchi. So we've been kind of doubling everything, And so we've been presenting inside Fortezza da Basso, so inside the traditional trade show, the new collection, and we've been doing the special opening in the courtyard of our atelier.
Yeah, great. So, and you're still alive?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be open.
That's good news.
Will be. I mean, we actually not having any plan to close it. We just call it temporary because it's something that we haven't planned to do in the long run, but at the same time we don't have a date for the closing. So the idea now is to find the right way to transform it into something that will be stable for the winter too, as it's is a kind of half open air space. It's a kind of is a kind of plant house space. So I mean, we just need to find the right configuration for the winter.
Yeah, and it's a blend between natural elements and super duper elements. It's tropical
Absolutely.
plants and
yes,
yeah.
yes. We called it. We called it. We've been playing around the word roots, and we've been working around that. I mean, around the meaning of the roots of the plants, of the roots of the brand, and of course as acronym of radical organisms of thriving systems. So I mean, yeah, it's the concept of the shop is about having together hats and plants together, trying to see at the hats not anymore as a complement to the outfit, to what the people are wearing, but looking at the hats as a complement of the whole thing around, nature and all the word that we have in our life.
Yeah, beautiful. Very nice, very nice. So we were speaking about our training program, and we're making a step forward. So the course is going to start at the end of August. And do you have anything to show? So what's how you're organized there?
Yes, we got we are now in just in between the presentation of the new collection. So we still have from last week here a small preview of the new collection that it's divided between straws and felts, all things that you're going to you're going to experience during the course. Here we're preparing some of the samples to be sent to our agents here and there in the world. And on the other hand, we are preparing another run for the another production run. We got here the mold that is getting hot at the right point to start the blocking. Here we got a lot of vapor. We're not cooking anything. We just
it's not a cooking lesson.
Absolutely not. I mean, actually, we can also try to do that, but it's here. You can see we have a felt inside here. Okay, that is in here to get softer in order to be blocked on one of our open crown shape. So it's you see, this is one of our blocks. It's the one that it's used to make the round crown, which is also called open crown, and it's basically the crown from all our hats, all our styles starts from, because we always start to design a new shape, a new block. We always start from the round crown, and from the round crown, then we hand block it, and we hand shape it, and we find the right shape that we want to do. Could be as you can see here, it could be kind of a fedora crown. Maybe it's black, you don't see much, but it's
you can see something. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, it's
Yep.
this is a kind of fedora crown. Or we can have a more kind of teardrop crown. You see?
Yeah.
So everything, we start doing everything by starting from the round crown.
Yeah. When your passion for hats started, what age? Do you remember? Do you have a clear?
I mean, in my mind, I mean, I'm always been a net lover and a hat wearer. I remember the summer where I decided to learn how to make hats, because I couldn't find anything that really impressed me on the market. I'm always been, yeah, as I said, I'm always been wearing hats, and I can clearly remember that summer, that, you know, that kind of special emotion, that special feeling that I had by making my own hats. You know, at the beginning, they were really, really ugly at the beginning, but you know, it's I mean, I remember them very, very clearly. You know, I of course, I mean, all my references were kind of coming. I mean, yeah, the inspiration was mainly the music world, you know, from a crash, small brim, fedora on a Tom Waits style or something like that. I clearly, yeah, I remember very, very good all my reference at that time, and it's actually very interesting to see that we've been growing together with Veronica doing these, but at the same time, some of these references are still there. You know, it's like you can really see what is the natural DNA of the brand, you know, and where it started from.
Yeah, and it's cool that you can blend all your passion within your brand, within your job, no? Like music, skating, and so on.
Yeah, you know, when this is what happened when you do something that you like. You know, it's all one big pot. You know, you're not. We are not able to shift and to switch. You know, from modality work or or holiday or
Real life.
music or having fun or anything. You know, it's always the same thing. We are always working and we're never working on the side, because we do what we like, but on the other hand, it's you know, it's very especially for us, we never design our collection or looking at other fashion inputs, let's say, so we can really get any sort of inspiration, any sort of reference from anything in every moment. You know, you can see in the woods, you can be in the on the seaside or whatever, but you know, if that things came to your mind, then it's, you know, it's done. You're not going to stop thinking to that thing because you are not in your office, you know. So
yeah, well, that's a great message, and I think is a great message for whoever, and I bet there's a lot of people in the world that are looking forward as well to just to not only learn about making hats. I think that's the main message you gave, you know, just translate all your passion into a product or a series of products, and the making, of course, it's I think more and more it's a space that people is able to take in a very fast world, and you take kind of a space. I mean, the students before speaking about the shoemaking was very clear about, you know, being there every day, doing that thing every day, it really makes a difference. And I think as well, it's good for the brain and it's good for the soul. So yeah, Matteo, thanks very much. Thanks for your time. And whoever is going to follow this or now or after, you know, just go. If you're in Florence, go to Manifattura Tabacchi, have a chat with Matteo or Veronica, and go and have a look at the temporary store, which will be probably with temporary for other 20 years or so. But and so thanks, Matteo.
Thank you so much, Alessandro. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Bye bye. Ciao. Ciao. Here we are. So we have now a presentation of the last course, which is the one related with food. And now we're going to see a video. And here we are, Food Artisan by Cibreo. And soon Sara and Karin are going to join the presentation. So stay tuned.
Okay. Hi everybody. I'm here with Karin. Hi. Karin, she's the coordinator of the course of Cibreo, our food course. So Karin, tell us a little bit about Cibreo, the Cibreo universe. Okay, Cibreo is a very well-known, worldwide known brand, and it is a combination of several venues. It was founded as a trattoria, so as a sort of casual restaurant in 1979 by Fabio Picchi and Benedetta Vitali, and along the years they opened several venues that have a specific approach towards food and sustainability. So they started with with the Cibreo Trattoria, then the Cibreo restaurant. Then they open Cibreo Cafe, so sort of cafeteria where you can have also lunch, aperitivi, and a light dinner. And they then open a theater, which is a venue that combines, say, food and culture. So you first have a dinner and then watch a show. It can be music, it can be a theater. It is a place of gathering of the intellectual community of the city. And they, in the most recent years, they opened the Cibleo, which is a restaurant that combines Tuscan and Asian cuisine. And the last opening is Cibio, which is a grocery store and a deli at the same time. They all the venues share the same approach and philosophy towards food, which means that they use only local and seasonal ingredients. So sustainability is a very important element of their approach. They created group of suppliers that they know personally. They have a trust relationship with all the suppliers of Cibreo, which share the same approach and philosophy towards food. And the main idea of Cibreo is to be place where food and culture are combined and at the same time shared by the citizens of Florence. It is a sort of, they use, I would say, tradition as a starting point in order to innovate and evolve. So it is an evolving community of restaurants that interact constantly with the citizens of Florence and with the temporary citizens of Florence, which means all the people that come every year to visit the city. And this is why they incorporate also dishes that are from other areas of the world, both in the Cibleo, where there is really an attempt of fusion of Asian and Tuscan cuisine. The chefs are Japanese in this case, and also in Cibio, where you can find cookies, cheesecake, pan chocolat, banana bread, and fermented beverages like borscht. So they kind of integrate other cultures, but as I said, starting from tradition and innovating it and having, let's say, a creative attitude towards food.
Yeah, it's both tradition, but also in a modern way. Let's say it's really a modern concept of restaurant, food, business, cuisine, everything, because it has this open approach which mix all these elements in a creative way. That's what I think is really, really interesting and so modern, right? And so why is our course so different than other courses?
I would say that the Cibreo course is definitely not a traditional cooking school and not strictly a cooking school, if we could define it. What students learn is to work in different kitchen environments. The Cibreo has the cafe, the theater, the restaurant, fine dining restaurant, a more casual trattoria, a deli, and they recently opened a restaurant and cafe in a 5-star hotel. So students have the opportunity to learn to work in a real work environment, following and learning about the real rhythms of the cuisine. So they're not isolated from the community, and they're not in some way cooking, learning to cook, respecting the learning the timing, but they really have to understand and learn how to work also under pressure, which is the real rhythm of cuisine. So there is one part dedicated to customized kitchen training, which means that they have a dedicated chef that will
teach the students how to manipulate the raw materials and how to recognize the high quality materials, which this part also includes visits to the suppliers. We go to visit cheese makers, olive oil makers, wine makers, cattle farms, breweries, all the suppliers of Cibreo, in order for the students to understand the importance of the ingredients and the importance of the people who are behind those ingredients. So the relationship with the producers is a very important element that Cibreo has. They have a personal relationship with all the producers, and that they established along the years, and they want to make sure that the suppliers and producers share the same philosophy. Furthermore, students will have the opportunity to work in a butcher shop, in a bakery, and in the pastry kitchen.
So it's really a 360 degrees experience, let's say, almost like it's a training experience, but that goes beyond a training experience, because it's almost a working experience that of 10 years. I don't know, so it's really intense.
Yeah, very intense, but students will be able to understand what they are also better at, or what are their preferences, and then be able to apply them and put them in practice in the real world. So usually when you go to work for the first time in a kitchen, they always ask you for some previous training. So in this case, you do have a previous training that is not the classical school training, but it's really a work training. So it's an apprenticeship.
So it's a complete course. Next course that we have in program will start in November, and it will be more, let's say, a Cibreo food experience. We decided to call it like this. It will be 6 weeks long, right?
Yes.
And yeah,
it will include working in all the venues of Cibreo. It will include some customized training in the kitchen with a dedicated chef. It will include working in the labs, in the butcher shop, in the pastry, in the bakery, also in the night, to understand how hard is the baker,
the real baker life.
So students will have to wake up at midnight and go and bake and make and bake bread. And furthermore, it will include all the visits to the suppliers. The course will focus on different kinds of seasonal dishes, so how to manipulate and use the ingredients that are available during the specific season. So if it starts in November, there will be winter vegetables, and students will learn the patterns, and then they can apply them also to vegetables of other seasons. But seasonality is a very important element of Cibreo that is reflected in the menu. Okay, that changes seasonally. And maybe another important aspect that I would like to remark is that Cibreo established a relationship with customers that doesn't bring, let's say, the need of claiming any organic or sustainable or farm-to-table elements in their brand. Customers trust them. They know that they carefully select the suppliers. They know that they are organic. They know that they use high quality and seasonal ingredients, and that's enough. And so I think this is a very important element that distinguishes Cibreo from other brands that focus very much and remark very much the fact that they are sustainable.
They don't need to remark it because they are it. Definitely. So thanks, Karin.
Thank you.
And to see you soon, you all, here in Florence for our courses. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Quello delle pulizie ora deve passare. Thank you very much to everyone for following and joining us today in our virtual open day. This is Schola. This is the School for Contemporary Craftsmen in Craftsmanship in Florence. And we've been presenting a leather making course today. We've been presenting a shoemaking course along with Stefano Bemer, leather making with our alumnus Candice Lau from UK. Michael from Oregon was speaking about her experience in bespoke shoemaking. Then we had a lovely chat with Matteo from SUPERDUPER explaining our brand new course in Hatmaking, which will take place in Florence at the end of August. And last but not least, Sarah, along with Karin Panzer, they were speaking about our next programs and our next courses for food making, food artisan, food business, and so on. So we'll wait for you in Florence. Now we can travel. Florence is getting hot, and but very nice. It's the place to be a craftsman. It's the right place to learn and feed the intelligence of your hands. And so. In a while, in 25 minutes, in Scuola del Cuoio, you can Instagram account. You can join our maestro speaking about the program and the course. And Schola.academy. It's our website. You can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and anything else. But just come to Florence and make your ends work and make something nice. So really, thank you very much for staying with us. We'll see you soon, and just keep in mind that the courses are nearly full, and there is little time to join as they're starting on the 24th of August. So especially if you're coming from outside the EU, you better get your visa. So it might take some time. So please contact Andrea. You can find his number on the website and everywhere else, just Facebook and website and not fax. That's the only thing we're missing. And good. Thanks for staying with us and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.